MPS is excited to share that the MIE1W0505BGLVH, a cutting-edge, ultra-small isolated power module, has been awarded the Power Management Voltage Converter of the Year at the AspenCore 2024 World Electronics Achievement Awards. Signal transmission is everywhere. In industrial applications, such as programmable logic controller or PLC systems, there is a dangerous high voltage, up to several kilovolts. This voltage can also pass through the signal line and may cause interference or damage terminal electronic devices. For engineers, keeping the transmission isolated while managing moving signals and power requirements can be challenging. Isolation is critical for human safety, asset protection, and data integrity. Isolation barriers can be formed inside IC chips. Using an isolated IC chip is a simple way to design a high-voltage and high-power system without redundant isolation circuits. 3 common semiconductor isolation technologies include optical isolation, capacitive isolation, and magnetic isolation. Optical isolation uses an optocoupler. An optocoupler is a passive component that converts an electrical signal into an optical signal, then converts the optical signal into an electrical signal again to enable the electrical signal to be transferred via optical carriers, such as LEDs. Optocouplers are widely used in flyback power design and signal transmission scenarios. Capacitors have the ability to stop the flow of DC current while allowing a C current to pass through. With this in mind, it is possible to modulate the signal when it flows across the capacitor, which achieves isolation during signal transmissions. Capacitive isolation differs from optical isolation in that only a small amount of bias current is required, which is advantageous compared to LEDs that require a larger bias current. In addition, capacitive isolation features a higher transmission speed, lower propagation delay, and strong EMI immunity. With magnetic isolation, the power and signal are transmitted via magnetic field coupling through a magnetic coil. A transformer is a typical component used for magnetic isolation, which is mostly used in switching power supplies and power module designs. This video will explain how isolated power modules are applied in signal transmission. The MA1W0505BGLVH from MPS is an example of an isolated power module that is perfect for signal transmission. It offers a 3V to 5.5V input voltage range and a selectable 5V or 3.3V output with 1 watt of maximum output power. This module is 90% smaller than the total size of a traditional SOIC 16 wide body package and 98% smaller than a traditional SIP package. There are a multitude of signal transmission types such as SPI, RS485, RS232, and CAN. For high-power industrial applications, the hardware systems are inevitably impacted by dangerous high voltages when signals are transmitted from one hardware system to another. These high voltages can break down the signal chain. To avoid this, it is essential to use components such as signal isolators and isolated power modules in the design. Let's consider SPI transmission. SPI transmission is a high-speed, full duplex communication mode that enables the signal to be transmitted via 4 signal channels, 3 forward and 1 reverse. The signal can be transmitted either from the master to slave device or in reverse from the slave to master device. To achieve electrical isolation during the signal transmission, an electrical isolation barrier should be added between the master device, the MCU, and the slave device, the transceiver. For a more robust electrical isolation barrier, a digital isolator and an isolated power module can be added. The signal isolator can provide adequate isolation with the signal passing through. However, this component is an active component that requires a bias voltage for its primary side and secondary side. MPS's MIE1W0505BGLVH is an ideal solution to provide bias voltage to the digital isolators. This next-generation, cost-effective isolated power module offers excellent EMI immunity, line and load regulation, and supports up to 2.5 kV of isolation, all in an ultra-small 4mm by 5mm LGA package. Other signal examples include RS485, RS232, and CAN. PLCs are a digital control unit specifically designed for industrial automation systems. In a PLC system, the MCU communicates with the host signal, also called the process signal, returned from the sensors. To protect the signal and keep its integrity, a signal isolator can be used as an isolation barrier and an isolated power module can be used to provide DC bias to the digital isolator. The MA1W0505BGLVH can provide stable power with excellent line and load regulation for a PLC system. At the same time, it provides excellent EMI immunity to keep the signal from interference from external sources. MPS also provides a wide range of power and signal solutions for PLC systems, including step-down converters, flyback controllers, PMICs, motor drivers, and signal isolators. To learn more, visit monolithicpower.com. Like this video and subscribe to our channel to get the latest on our innovative new products.